Hi guys, it's Cleo and today we're going to be making a spiced ginger pear cake. I love this cake for the autumn and winter months, and it's great to make if you're having a bunch of people over, as it's a showstopper and everyone loves it. Our first ingredient will be 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. You can use avocado oil, canola oil, melted butter, anything you have. So next we're adding 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And next we're gonna add our 200 milliliters of unsweetened almond milk. You can use any milk of choice and whisk that up. You'll see the little bubbles of oil. So we have 3/4 cup of coconut sugar. I really like coconut sugar as it adds a sort of caramelized taste to this cake, but you can also use brown sugar or white sugar. So now you're gonna mix it up and you're gonna add your spice mix. This is 1 tablespoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground allspice, and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. This adds a really, I would say, autumnal or festive flavor to this cake. Next, you're gonna add your 1/2 cup of ground oats or oat flour, and then you're gonna add your cup of almond flour. And so now I'm gonna mix it again. And then our final step is to add 1 1/4 cup of buckwheat flour. You could substitute more oat flour or just an all-purpose flour for buckwheat, but I love the earthy taste it adds. So at this point you want to switch to a spatula. Make sure all the flour and everything is really well incorporated. Then you're gonna add your 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. The next step will be to grate 2 apples and 1 pear. This adds a lovely level of moisture to the cake as well as some natural sweetness. Before you start grating, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Get out the core of the apple, and then you're going to just use a grater. Be careful. Next step is to get your grated apples, and you're gonna add them to your mixture. You might want to add them a little bit at a time. So you're gonna fold them in. And at the same time, you're also gonna fold in your 100 grams or 1/2 cup of dried raisins. It'll be a very thick cake mixture, that's what you want. Then you're also going to cut some slices of pear. This is optional, but I like to do it as an upside down pear cake. And so I cut it into little slices for the top of the cake. It also makes it look like a really fancy recipe, even though it's super simple and easy. Once your pears are all cut up, you're gonna take your cake tin and you can butter it or line it with parchment paper. I'm going to spray it with a little olive oil and just take a brush, making sure everything's evenly distributed. This is really important because it's an upside down cake, so if you want it to come out in one beautiful piece, you should do this. And I'm going to display my pears in circular motion because this is actually the top of the cake, so afterwards you're gonna flip it over. We're gonna put in our very thick batter. Be careful not to move the pears too much. I wouldn't be upset if they move ever so slightly, but if you add your batter too viciously, they will create a new formation that was not the one you decreed. So now you're gonna put your mixture into your preheated oven. After 45 minutes, your cake should be ready. Smells amazing. After you've let it cool, you can now orchestrate your wonderful flip. So be careful and flip it over. And now for the grand reveal. Wonderful. And now I'm just gonna take some flaked almonds and sprinkle them on top. just as a little garnish. It also adds a nice crunch. Now, it's time for the best part. The only reason I do these recipes. Taste. This is really delicious, and I love this recipe because the nuttiness of the buckwheat comes through, and it's complemented with the soft texture of the almond flour, and then you get the spices and the ginger and the pear. I adore it. It's a must make for the winter season. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Cleo, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. I hope you make this recipe because it is truly fabulous.